Hey, OldBayCraps, back at the table, ready for some DI practice. This is session 9, and we're going to continue what we did yesterday, but yesterday was in 3 parts with 3 different positions at the table. Same toss, same underhand toss, but we were trying to figure out what's going to be the best way to, or position from stick right is going to benefit us the most. So if you look at the hand cam, we started here, then we went to as close to the rail as we could to our hip, then we went further away, and then we went over as close to the stick as possible. I didn't like the way that the session went because it was broken up into 3 segments. So what I want to do is just keep to changing one position. So we've been doing the first 700 rolls at this position. We're going to do the next 700 rolls at this position. And then we'll go to this position for another 700, and then we'll do close to the stick as we can for another 700. We'll see how it goes. So I will, after 30 rolls, we'll take a small 30-second break and then go right back at it for another set of 30. Obviously I'm not going to stop if we haven't 7'd out yet. But what I want to do is try to create some consistency over here, because I felt that doing it here, then here, then here was breaking up the toss itself, and we were seeing a lot of more errant throws than I really liked. So without further ado, let's get rolling. All right, I'm going to put it on the tracker for you so you can play along. Let's go with another set of red-blue today. And we'll do it with the pips so you can see it. All right, here is toss number 1. Dice out. Well, I love the way it landed. Don't quite like the result, but that's okay because it's the 5-4, 5-4 hardway set. We're using this set to figure out. It's the easiest way to figure out what's going on with your dice. So, a 4-3 is technically on axis, but we didn't see a 1 or a 6. And again, I'm going to enter the rolls in with the blue die first. So we got a 4-3-7, come out 7, totally fine. Win at the casino. As far as the toss went, that's what was beautiful. Dice out. So that had a little too much energy. It's going to be a 2-1-3. Still on the come out. So if you're working that world bet, I'm happy to oblige. Dice out. Hard 10. I love the way that they went down, and I really focused that time on the energy of the dice. Let the energy that you give them be the reason that they roll towards the back wall. I said black wall because my alligator wall is black. But let the dice do what they're supposed to do. Dice out. That was a lot of energy, and it kind of went towards the hook, but they kind of hit the hook and then hit the wall twice. At least it seemed to me. It's going to be a 3-2-5. So for those interested, the top 2 prominent dice results for this throw so far is a 3-2-5 and a 1-3-4. Dice out. So that went immediately to the left, probably because I was jibber jabbering. It's going to be a 5-6 yo. So I'm going to try to keep the, I might stop actually saying dice out, because I've noticed that you don't really say that at the casino. And it kind of breaks concentration. Here we go. That's what we want. 415. Dice out. See, now I'm just saying it. Not a great toss. 6-5 yo. So for reals now, I'm gonna try not to say what you normally say before you throw it. So they went more towards the middle of down the middle of the table. It's gonna be a 4-1-5. They still managed to do what they're supposed to do, which is hit the wall and stop. What I am interested in, and I'd like to get everybody's opinion, is, especially Ed and Gargoyle, is this underhand toss is kind of specific to a bouncy table. So what does it do on a hard table? I'd like to know that. So they split. That's a grip problem. 2-1-3. So every other number's been a horn or a 5. That's interesting, don't you think? Now, if all you're doing is throwing horns and 5s, you're going to make a lot of money. So they split, but they hit the wall and came back within 4 inches of the wall, which is going to be fine in my book at the casino. But for this purposes, we want them to stay together and hit the wall and stop. Five, 3, 8. So the left die, it split, and the left die hit the hard part of the wall. 5-2-7 out. All right, that was a qualified roll. Not going to complain about that. We definitely hit the repeater on the 5. Not the repeater, but we hit 3 5s and plenty of horns. So. Here we go. So the red die kind of stopped in its tracks. It's going to be a come out 7. And by the way, I do throw, with this particular set, the 2-5 is the most prominent 7 out. Four, 2, 6. I think the blue die might have hit the hook. So the red die lost energy pretty quickly. It's going to be a double D gin, heart 6, buckshot. And there's nothing wrong with a buckshot, ever. Unless you're a don't player. I hope you can hear me. I have been having some mic issues. I noticed that even though my mic was plugged in, that it wasn't picking up the mic in the drop down. So they actually traveled together, but then they split once they hit the wall. It's going to be a 3-5-8. I think my grip was too tight. So they both died right when they hit the table. It's going to be a 2-4-6. They didn't even travel. Now, Gargoyle Ed, tell me, is that because my toss was too low to the table? Maybe it wasn't the required height off the table when that happens? So that blue die jumped all the way up, and I'm not even sure if it hit the red die first before it went all the way up and it went above the diamonds. It's going to be a 5-1-6 mixer. Like and subscribe to Sideshow Gamble's channel. And if you're interested, I know there was plenty of people that were kind of disappointed that Sideshow couldn't make it to this. He does have a video with Ed Roll to Win regarding learning a better toss. Please go check out that on his channel. It's a great video. There's another 6, 2-4. So in short answer, I knew I just needed to concentrate a little bit more, but I actually like throwing it from this distance, which if you all remember, the first show where all of us were together, that was where I started the underhand toss, was out that far, I think. I'm pretty sure. Got a 5-4-9. And then during the first throwing session, I moved it from here to here, but we're going to be practicing here this entire session. I might break it up. I might, not the video itself, but tomorrow's video I may do close to the wall the entire time. So the red die, there's a little bit too much energy. The red die had a big bounce. I know this is a bouncy table. I've been hearing it all week. But you know what? My local up north is kind of this bouncy, which is why I intentionally made it this bouncy. So they split. It's going to be a 5-4-9. They did not die off the wall. But I don't think you can argue with anybody who says 3 6s followed by 3 9s is going to hurt them. So I am having a little trouble getting them to travel together. 1, 3, 4. So the blue die, the left die, kind of stopped and bounced over to the right. It's going to be a 3-5-8. That was better. There's a hard 10. Old Bay bushel. I like that one. So I noticed my head wasn't up straight, it was kind of cocked to the side. And I'm just wondering if that hindered them getting down here together. 1, 3, 4. So that one I threw, and I guess I wasn't thinking of going right to left. I was thinking of going straight down the cum area, and that's how they went. It's going to be a 1, 2, 3. 3 craps. See if we can bounce back to the box numbers. So they kind of went apart and then came back together, but then rolled around. It's going to be a hard 10 though, Old Bay bushel. So after talking with Ed last night, we discovered that my on access is around almost 47%, which is a bit low. There's a 5-2. The red dye didn't get down here quite that like it should have. That's going to be a 7 out. Another qualified roll. Oh no, that was a come out. There we go again. Thinking it's a 7 out. It's a come out 7. Because that Old Bay bushel was point main. So they went off to the left. I noticed my head was to the side again. It's going to be a 2, 6, 8. 8's going to be the point. I do notice that when my head is straight up, that the dice tend to go more towards the center than over here. But it just could be because it's a new section. That was a buckshot, by the way. 3, 5, 8. So the idea of it going down, they went down together, but too much energy and the 6 bounced off and went another 2 feet off the wall. It's going to be a 6, 2, 8 again. A better throw. It's 1, 4, 5. I really like that one. They were like fighting to be together on the way down there. 3, 6, 9. They were like, no, you go to the wall. No, you go to the wall. All right, let's go to the wall together. So they went together, stopped together, and never made it through the wall. Probably get a warning. 2, 4, 6. And there's a 7 out. 5, 2. They kind of split. That was a grip problem. That's an official 7 out. That was a 24 roller. I think we hit 3 points. 6, 8, and 10. Maybe a little too much energy on that. As you can see, I'm definitely fighting with energy. Too much, too little. Too little is stopping short of the wall by like a foot. Too much is having them not always land together, but also when they split, they kind of venture off. There's a 5, 4, 9. So that went more down the middle than down this way. They went over here. But again, I think it was too much energy. They also split a little bit. I'm gonna try to get a lighter grip. So same energy, but lighter grip. See what happens. It's gonna be a 5, 3, 8. I think they traveled together nicely. So I can tell you they landed right in the middle of the field, right where between the 9 and the 10. So definitely didn't hit my landing spot at all. 5, 2. That's a short roll. As you all know, if you have a Samsung washer dryer, you get a small tune after the cycle's done. It's annoying. You get used to it. So I think the dice are splitting right now, so I'm struggling with that. We got a 5, 2. It's a come out 7. Oh, so it wasn't a short roll earlier. They were just back-to-back come out 7s. See guys, I'm not paying attention too much on whether it's a 7 out. I'm just seeing a 7 and that's what I think. So we're still on the same shooter. That was a good one. We got aces. So for all you dope players or world bet players, horn players, that was a good one. Nope, felt them split when I put them down. Got a 6-3-9. 9's going to be the point. I'll tell you with that one, I don't think it was that it was too much energy. It's going to be a 4-2-6. I think with that particular toss, I had too much arc in it. They were too high on the table. They weren't low. They weren't kept low. I need a drink. All right, here we go. Sir, you can only use one hand with the dice, please. Sorry, boss. Alright, so right now I'm having trouble getting them down to the don't pass or the 2. They keep landing around the 4 in the field. So they're landing too short. It's going to be a 3-1-4. See, there's a difference between getting them down there with energy and getting them down there aggressively with energy and not hitting your landing zone. So they did hit around the 2 in the field. It's going to be a 6-5 yo. Get back to the box numbers, shall we? So they split on the way down. They were probably inches apart when they landed. That's an official 7 out there. 3-4. But it's going to be another qualified roll. And we're almost halfway through. So I'm actually going to get a drink of water. We're at 48 rolls. Here we go. So that was too high of an arc. It's going to be a come out 7. Too high of an arc. Those dice should never have gone above the table or the rail. And they did. I didn't push them, I tossed them. There's a big difference. With the underhand, I'm trying to push the dice forward, not toss them forward. So that had way too much energy and they split, but I was trying to overcompensate for not pushing them before. 5's going to be the point. This isn't easy, folks, but you know what? I am sold on mechanics are going to get you more consistency at the casino. It's going to be a 3-1. They kind of died before they hit the wall. Overall, I think it was a good toss. It's going to be a 4-3. So now we're entering the short roll phase. Let's hope it doesn't last long. Usually when I'm not thinking about pushing them versus tossing an arc, I don't usually have this issue. $415, that was a 4. Five's going to be the point again. We're now over 50 rolls. Took a little break around 48. So we'll try to take another break around 75. It's going to be a PSO. When I see this happen to me, it almost feels like it's just probability. You had 3 consecutive quality rolls, and probability says you're due for a couple of short ones. All right, maybe I'm throwing them with too much energy, I think. It's going to be a 2, 4, 6. Like I said, with mechanics, your throw is all encompassing of so many parameters and factors. So that was a throw about 6 inches off the table instead of 2. I think it was too high of a throw. It's going to be a 6, 2, 8. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. They hit around the 2. They skipped along like as if skipping a rock off a surface, water surface, and they did it. They did what I wanted them to do. So for the naysayers out there, I just have to do it again, right? I can tell you that my knuckles hit the table multiple times during the throw, and every time it does, it's a 7 out. Every single time. And I'll show on the camera what happened, because I don't have a slow motion camera. This is what they did. They started here. My knuckle hit here, here, here before they went forward. There we go. When I keep it low to the ground, low to the table, like they said, 2 inches off the table is where you want it. The dice tend to do what I want them to do. Which I guess by definition is influence, maybe. So it landed probably around here, had too much of that good old country strength. I'm not really from the country. So they landed short and dribbled forward, and I think the blue die hit the hook, which is why it went off to the right. Again, I'm not trying to sound like BS. I'm just telling you what I think I'm seeing. I'll let the experts, Ed and Gargoyle, tell me if they agree or if it's something completely different. It's a 167. I don't really know what went wrong with that one, but I like the way that they landed and came back together. So I think when they hit, they then hit again and then hit the wall. And that's why they split. 3, 5, 8. 8 will be the point. There we go. That is exactly what I want them to do. It's going to be a hard 6, double D-gen. You know how when a pitcher pitches and they think through the rotation before they release the ball, and then they think of releasing the ball? Like, that's where I was on that throw. Like, my mind was able to go to every place I needed it to. So that one felt forced. It's going to be a 4, 6, 10, but it felt forced, which I think the blue die went to the left. So I don't think I might have had a good grip on that one. If I haven't said it, I appreciate everybody joining me. Thank you for the comments and the support. There's a 5, 6 yo. By the way, I have yet to learn how to do this. Every time I do, they split. So I do it this way. Six, 3, 9. So because of yesterday and moving positions to 3 different positions, I'm starting to feel a strain in the back of my left, in the left of my, let me see that again. I'm starting to feel a little bit of a strain on the left side of my back. And I think it had to do with yesterday. Three, 5, 8. So I would say the majority of the time that, now I have to have the proper energy, but the majority of the time that when I'm able to get the dice just a couple of inches off the table, that's when I have the best throws. I had way too much energy. It's going to be a 1, 6. See? I'll tell you one thing. More often than not, people know when, except maybe Jeff Atlantic Craps, because when he says, oh, that's a bad roll, it's normally a good roll, a good result. But a lot of us, we know that when we feel something off in the toss and it winds up being a 7, you're like, I felt it from the beginning. And that was a come out 7 again. Here we go. Look at me. I can't. I'm sorry. I do apologize for all the screwing up I'm doing of saying 7 out when it's a come out 7. That was weird. So they kind of went off to the left, but as soon as they landed, the way that they landed, which they mean they must have landed on a edge or corner, they then immediately jumped to the right. It's going to be a 6, 2, 8. 8's going to be the point again. And I want to check something real quick. That was roll 70. Yeah, that was a grip problem. They split. It's going to be a 628, but oh, that was a 6. Come on, we're on camera. Thank you. Sorry, I was showing off my very poor stick skills. I need a new stick. This one's starting to break on the hook part of it. I don't know why. I've never seen anybody slam their stick down or in frustration before. Wink, wink. Well, at least they stayed together for the most part. It's going to be a midnight. You know, a midnight should be called a hard 6 because you know how hard it is to get the 6s to show. It's going to be an ace deuce, 3 craps. Still on the come out. I felt my middle finger push the dice, which means they would have been split when I tossed them. It's gonna be back to back horns. What are we trying to hit the ATS or something? Well, the dice gods heard me say the word ATS, and they're like, we'll humble your ass. Here you go, 5-2. It's only a come out 7, but we just ruined the potential for that glorious bonus. So they did travel together like Jack and Jill. They went bounce, bounce, bounce. So they went bounce, bounce, bounce. It's going to be a 4-1-5. 5's going to be the point. I think we're at or near 75 rolls. I'll check in just a sec. We'll take a water break. Again, they split when they hit the table, and the blue one hit the hard part of the wall, so they hit early for a 6-2 easy 8. And that was roll 77. So we're going to take a sippity sip sip. So the dice went off to the left. It's going to be a 1-4-5. That was a 4. Hit the point. Nope, felt them split when I hit the table. And 1, 6, 7 out. Ugh. That was a 17 roller. It's 4 quality shooters this session. I think we're definitely having a better shooting night than last night, though. So that would say the dice were about 4 to 5 inches off the table instead of the 2. It's going to be a 6-5 yo. Oh my God, it did it again. That was a come out 7 because we hit the 5. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Wow. I am something else. You know what? Just stop watching this channel. Maybe I should change my channel to doesn't know what a 7 out is. Hey, don't know what a 7 out is? How you doing today? Alright, so they hit like the 9 in the field, which is kind of apropos that it's a 9, 3, 6. 9's going to be the point. You know, when your dice hit too early, like way too early, they have more of a chance to go in different directions because they have more distance between when they landed and the wall. So that one ricocheted. The blue one hit the left wall before hitting the alligator back wall and hit around, but it's going to be a double D gin, hard 6. Again, they hit too early. It's going to be a midnight. And there's the washing machine. So the dryer was the first one that had the tune playing, and now the washing machine has done its cycle. So now it has to play a completely different tune, and this is why I can't stand Samsung appliances. There's a 314. So for some reason they're hitting, splitting, hitting the wall, and trying to meet back together. It's going to be a hard 6. It's not what we want. They traveled together better, but that red one went, where are you going? It's going to be a hard 6 again. Wow. That's 3 hard 6s in 5 rolls. So if you're parlaying that hard way, good for you. And that's going to be it. Finally, a 4, 3, 7 out. That's official. That's official. It's a 4, 3, 7 out. That's going to be another 25 roller. So that's 2 in the teens and 2 in the 20s. 4 qualified shooters. And let's take a gander of where we are. We only hit 2 points. That's disappointing. All right, that was roll 87. So we have 13 more rolls. Got a 2, 6, 8. Again, they're hitting too early. Now that could very well be because of the position. And it's something I have to get used to, but 8's going to be the point. So those did hit right around the 2, between the 2 and the don't pass. But they had too much energy. That's a PSO right there. Oh, split when they hit the table. Too much energy, but it's going to be a 6, 2, 8. The one die was actually leaning up against the other die. That was weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'll show you in this picture a little bit closer. They were doing this. They did that. I've never seen that before. There we go. That's what we're looking for. 6, 2, it's a buckshot. That's 1 point. Can we get another point? Well, we know we can get another point. Can we make another point? Five, 3, 8. So it's not going to be one that helps the fire bet because it's the same point. In order to hit the fire bet, you have to hit all 6 points. All 6 box numbers as points. So if you hit the same number, it doesn't count towards increasing your odds of winning the fire bet. So they did travel together. They went off to the left this time for a 1, 4, 5. So they were probably, I don't know if you can see the stick, if that makes sense. That's about 6, 7 inches off the top of the table here. And that's how high they were. They were too high. They were coming in hot. So that's going to be another short roll. And that was roll 94. Give me a 2, 1, 3. Kind of went off to the left. It's a come out roll. So we need to see if we can get it to go down. The way we're looking. They were split. They were split when they came off my fingertips. It's going to be a 4, 1, 5. 5's going to be the point. There we go. They rolled together when they hit, and they probably hit around here, and they rolled together. They still came back a little too much energy. I grew up golfing with my dad. He always said, "Boy, you have all the power in the world and no accuracy." Those kind of did what I wanted them to do. But I don't think G and Ed want them to be rolling around off the hook. Back-to-back 3-1-4s. So I'm having some splitting issues. That's back-to-back 1-3-4s. Can we flip it? I don't know, because the way that they're landing is not how I want them landing. So yeah, my knuckle hit the table. Even though they landed split, and then when they hit the wall they came back together. That's not how I intended them to go. That was, I don't know. I felt my knuckle hitting the table again. So I'm not lifting my hand up high enough. Because I'm launching from the deck. So now I don't know, maybe from this far out, they should be parallel. Maybe that would help. We'll do that in the next session though. For right now, I'm still doing it from launching from the deck. It's going to be a 6-3-9. Not really how we want them to be. We'll take the result, but so they lost. They didn't have enough energy. It's going to be a 6-5 yo. And I believe that's roll 102, so this is the last shooter. This was a lot of fun today. So one thing I didn't think about that might also be the problem is I'm not lifting my thumb up soon enough. 6-4-10. What's the point? Oh, 5 is the point. I didn't even know what the point was. So I noticed something on that particular one. Yes, I threw them too hard. It's going to be a 5-4-9. But I was thinking about the thumb, and they did actually travel in the air together. I guess it'd be kind of neat to see the whole throw, but I don't know how to get my cameras like that. So I definitely know on that one my thumb came up early, and unfortunately my middle finger, which was holding the other side of the grip, pushed the dice. so they split. It's going to be a 459. Believe me, if we were at a casino, this isn't something you're complaining about. But when you're practicing your mechanics, it is something to complain about. I like the way they rolled up, but they managed to hit, I think, the fourth row of the diamond, so they came in hot. All right, that's it. That's the 7. That was a 7 out officially. But we did end on a qualified roll. That's 5 quality shooters in 11 shooters. We've had some other sessions where, let me go to the camera here. There we go. So we definitely, we had 5 quality shooters out of 11, which, hey, the longer, the time is your enemy at the table, but if you're there long enough to be able to shoot it, 11 get the dice 11 times, 5 quality rolls is not bad. You can still make lots of money. If we look back at some of the other throwing sessions, we had back-to-back short rolls. We had sometimes 15 to 16 shooters in a session. So to only have 11 today, my goal is to get it down to like 6 or 7 at most, which means we're having longer rolls, but we're also having consistently longer rolls, and we're really minimizing the 7 outs, the short rolls. But that was fun. We're going to do the same position tomorrow in session 10, but I think tomorrow we're going to just practice with dice parallel to the table instead of launching from the deck, but from the same position. So arm out further away from the rail, just like today. So thank you for joining me. Love y'all. Thank you for all the support, the comments. You all know who you are. Keep the feedback coming, please. And thanks for showing support. I want to thank Gargoyle, Ed, Jeff, and Chris Sideshow Gamble. You've all been influential to me, and I really appreciate all the support. So, without further ado, season your play, and I'll see ya mañana.